Hello, my name is Tim Owens. I'm with NextWave Automation, and I'll be demonstrating the CNC Shark Pro. This is from the product line of NextWave Automation. Today we'll be going over the basic components of the CNC Shark. The Shark is a CNC controlled, numerically controlled system that is designed to engrave into wood, metal, plastic, light engraving into the metal, specifically aluminum or brass, but its primary function is to cut into wood, things of plastic like this, and can it machine them very efficiently. Things that would take hours or days can literally be done in minutes with this machine. We'll be going it over in three parts. One is with the actual VCarve software, which is the main control software. VCarve is not the exclusive software that you can use with this machine. There's a number of other products that can be worked with it. It is not a proprietary system. We will also be going over the control system, which loads everything to the controller, as well as actually machining what are the components necessary for the setup and machining an actual part or sign. So we'll start here with the VCarve Pro. VCarve, this particular one is with the larger, this is version 4.6, which comes with the Pro version. There is another version of the CNC Shark, which is a smaller one. It's about half the size of this one, and it comes with version 3.1. The big difference between the softwares is just some additional wizards and bells and whistles. One that probably the biggest component between the two is it allows you to import graphics. This is the VCarve Pro. This is the main control program where you do your designs for the CNC Shark. It is not the only exclusive software that is available. There's a number of different products, but this is the one that is packaged with it. To start, we need to create a new work area. This is where we specify how big the piece of wood is that we're working with, or at least the area that we want to machine. In this case, we're saying 10 inches wide by a height, which could be considered your length, of 5 inches. And what a lot of people perceive as the thickness of the height is 3/4 of an inch. You can also select where the zero is, or the start point. You can go around and select different locations, but majority starts in the center because it's easy to find the center of a piece of wood. You also have the final component where you can put inches or millimeters in here, but it will not affect the piece if you wish to change that. So here's your work area. There's a number of wizards and pieces for drawing and capabilities on the side. We've already created some line art that we're going to load. So we're going to come over here, open, and pull in some very familiar work. Now this is just some simple line art. In other words, it's not a graphic. It has individual selectable lines, and this is not any different than you'd have in Word or CorelDRAW or a number of software. It's easily selectable. So in this case, after you get your workpiece done or your line art in, you sized it to the appropriate size that you want, we actually go through and select everything you want to work with. And you would end up coming over and selecting the carve. This is called the VCarve machining or engraving location. What this is specifically a fast and easy wizard that's probably the one that's used probably 90% of the time with VCarve. It gives you some asks you some basic questions, for instance, what tool you're going to use. Here we're going to be using a 90-degree V-bit, but there's a whole host of bits that are already in this system, and you can add more as you need. But there's just an absolute ton of them. So after we select the bit, you say OK. You determine if you want it to go any additional deeper into the wood, or if you want to restrict its height so it won't carve any deeper than at this point. In this case, we have entered 0.39 inches. And then you go ahead and do the calculate. Now this will show you your primary view of what you're going to see. VCarve actually will engrave in between the two lines it saw originally. So in this case, You have your main lines, and it will actually machine in between the actual lines. If we would like to add or remove a particular line, you can easily do that by selecting and removing a particular line. And it will engrave into here differently. And then we'll tell it to recalculate. Now you see an actual tool path, and this isn't very recognizable to the original machine, but this is the actual path that the machine will take. It'll do a lot of carving in here, so every blue line is actually where the bit of that, the tip of the bit is actually cutting. If we want to see what it actually looks like after the cutting is complete, we can preview the tool path here. And it would actually machine it out and show exactly how it'll look. Once this is done, you can actually rotate it, take a look at it, see if it's the cut that you want to see. Is it as deep as you want it to be here? Is it too deep? You can go back and make some adjustments as you like. Once you get it to its final position, you then output it into a file that can be then loaded into the machine. And in this case, all you have to do is select the save. We select there's a whole host of machines in here, but the post-processor we're using is the CNC Shark USB. And once you've selected that, you save it. And it's now saved out as a control program. Once you've created the file that you want to machine, you open up the NextWave Automation control panel. This actual control panel is version 1. We will be doing an upgrade to it within the next month of this video. But this allows you all the basic control capabilities of the machine. You have the ability to move the machine forward and backwards, which is done through the Y here. And you can see the numbers changing at this point. You can move it in the X, back and forth. You can also increase the speed so it goes faster. And then you have the Z, up and down. Once you get it into the place you want, you can select 0. If for some reason you accidentally moved it out of position, we also have move to 0, which it'll bring it right back, virtually the same location. Then you go over to the G code. If this is our starting point, which a lot of we had selected in the center, we end up resetting all the X, Y, and Z to 0. We go to load, select the file that we saved, which was HD, open it up. You'll see the code appeared here, which is standard G code, used on a lot of different machines, and this will gray out. When this comes back, it's actually programmed the controller and it's ready to cut. This can actually take anywhere from 5 seconds to a couple of minutes, but if you're doing a couple of minutes, you probably got 4 or 5 hours worth of cut time on it. Typically, it'll come back very quickly. So now that it's back, all we have to do is confirm we're in the position we want to be. These are set to 0, turn on the router, and press run from SD card. All right, we'll turn the unit on. All right, so where we go, and we'll take it off so everybody can see what it did. So this concludes the demonstration. I wanted to thank Rockler for allowing us to show it to you, and we look forward to having one of these in your home and talking more about it with you.